What is going on, everybody in Wrestling Review Society's Facebook page, YouTube page, Real Pro Wrestling's YouTube page? My name is Kevin. I am the voice of Real Pro Wrestling, and I am here with another outstanding interview with you for you guys this evening. I had the chance to meet this gentleman this past weekend at the Real Pro Show, and he's just got an amazing story, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. Just before we bring him on, I want to take a chance to plug our amazing sponsors who make this show happen each and every week. If you notice the one scrolling at the bottom of the screen, thecoldestwater.com. They make some of the greatest water bottles I've ever had. Guys, if you go to thecoldestwater.com and use promo code wrestling at checkout, you'll save 10% on their t-shirts, coffee, ice packs, water bottles, whatever it is you guys like. And if you want to save a lot of money, go to thecoldestwater.com/thecoldest60 giveaway, where the coldest water will be giving away 15 free water bottles to 15 lucky winners. And so go to thecoldestwater.com/coldest60 giveaway to register for that giveaway and be one of the lucky winners. Also want to take a chance to give a huge thank you to A-Rock Designs for sponsoring the show. A-Rock Designs is that company that's been making all those cool wrestling cups you see floating around. So if you want to get your hands on any custom tumblers, cups, keychains, anything like that, make sure you hit up A-Rock Designs on Facebook. And lastly, guys, before I bring my guest on, storefrontier.com/wrestling review society to score all of our amazing merch, like this Wrestle Hub hoodie I'm wearing. We just released our WRS Club design, and if I say so myself, it looks pretty nice. I really like it. I got the shirt, the hoodie, all that stuff. So make sure you guys go to storefrontier.com/wrestling review society and get your merch today. We already have comments coming in from the comments section. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get our guest on here. You may have seen him all over the wrestling scene. Like I said, he comes with a very amazing story, and I can't wait to sit down and talk to this man and introduce you guys to none other than the man, the myth, the legend himself, the money making. I want to get this right. Money making Shea Guzman.
You already know. There we go. That's how we do it. We got it right.
Hey, I got to get it right, man. I got to do you justice.
I mean, I'm popping out of nowhere, That what seems to be the thing everyone's saying. So,
it's very fitting that you say that, because I've been kind of circling the Florida independent scene for the last couple months now, and you came out of nowhere, dude. Like, where have you been? Like, what brought you to the Florida independent scene?
Oh man, I appreciate that. It's one of those things, man. Like, you got to go where the money's at, If you're gonna get yourself in the business of professional wrestling, no matter where you're from, you got to come down south. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And not even just down south, you got to go everywhere. You got to travel everywhere. So, I've been a lot of places from, all the way up north and in Chicago, Detroit regions, all the way down south to the Atlanta regions, Florida regions, Boston, New York, North Carolina, Kansas, Alabama, California. Like, we were traveling everywhere, But
he says all very humbly.
Yeah, Florida's turn. We're just trying. We're trying. There's not a lot of people like me, I would say, in this business, and that's what makes it special.
I would definitely have to agree, and we're going to get into a lot of that. I've only had the privilege of seeing you one time in person. I got to introduce you to the ring. I got to sit front row for your match. Very impressive stuff. We're going to get into all of that in just a little bit. But let's talk about, like, your early life, man. What was it that attracted you to pro wrestling? Were you always a wrestling fan, or was there a moment in your life where you can go back to and say, that's the moment I knew I was going to be a pro wrestler?
Man. There was so much good wrestling. I mean, from a professional standpoint, people that stood out to me was like Yokozuna and Lex Luger. You know what I mean? Like, those guys were like larger than life. Like, those are two noticeably different people. And then, like, I remember Shawn Michaels popped out of nowhere to me, and then Razor Ramon popped out of nowhere to me. And I was just like, damn, like, that was one of the things that kind of got me interested. It was like, I've never seen people, because, when you're like 4 years old, you think you look like yourself. Like, there's really, when you see those guys so big at that height, you know what I mean? Being a 4-year-old and looking at a Yokozuna and a guy like Lex Luger and a guy that gets all the girls like Shawn, that really intrigued me, you know what I mean? But I always was a feisty kid, man. I was always fighting, putting people in headlocks, man, my whole life. So, you know what I mean? It was only a matter of time, man. Like I always knew I was gonna be a wrestler. As weird as it sounds. Like, my fifth grade teacher wrote in the yearbook that my obsession for WWF. She'll always remember me for that. So, you know, if I ever make it, well, now let's take that back. When I make it, that's gonna be the icing on the cake for some people. They're gonna be like, "Oh, look at this guy," you know, like since fifth
Well,
grade.
I mean, you've been on some pretty big stages already. And I don't want to skip around, and like I said, we're going to get to that in just a little bit. But you've named off all these places that you've wrestled. Where are you originally from?
I'm a New Yorker, man.
I couldn't tell. Now, is that where you started your wrestling training at? Was in New York?
Yeah, for a little bit, man. I didn't like it rules. I didn't like, I didn't like a lot of things. Not just wrestling wise, like because I got involved in amateur wrestling, but it felt restricted. Um, I got involved in boxing for a while, and that felt restricted. And then I got on this real, you know, different, outlook of life where I was like, I want to enjoy life more rather than being so controlled by these things. I found the outlet of wrestling allowing me to not have to, how should I say, have any control. So like when I got involved in it, you know what I mean, I realized like at the end of the day, like it's like where else can you do whatever you want? You know what I mean?
You
Like
went
think
from
about that.
boxing where you have to stand up and strike to pro wrestling where you can pick somebody up and dump them on their head.
Yeah, like especially being in New York, like there's not that many opportunities. Especially being a young Latin male. You know what I mean? Like the opportunities are very restricted. So like growing up humbly, in a single parent household, I knew like okay, there's got to be an outlet to make money quick. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
absolutely.
So I figured out like okay, I could have did this wrestling, I could have did the boxing, but the wrestling it was just like who else is gonna give me a microphone to say whatever I want?
And that's the we both worked for Real Pro Wrestling this past weekend, and that was one of the things I told the owners when they asked me to be the ring announcer. I said, "You're gonna put me in the middle of your ring with a live microphone and nobody to cut me off.
Absolutely.
You done fucked up."
No, that's the problem with the world, man. Like, they don't give opportunities to people like us. You know what I mean? That's why wrestling was so appealing. I'm all over the place. I'm all off track, but that's why I'm the way I am. I'm an artist. You know what I mean? Just like you are, and just like that's how we met. Like
Absolutely.
it's just a weird business because like in New York, you don't think this. I didn't think I'll ever be a wrestler. I always knew I was gonna be a wrestler, but I never thought I'd do it. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely, man. So I want to get into a few things that you just said, but before we do, we have some comments coming in from some people who seem to really enjoy you.
Nah.
From SWF Official, I loved your match with Big Money.
Man, appreciate you, man.
He
Appreciate
also
you.
says he loved your triple threat match with Bud Heavy and Bobby.
Appreciate the love, man. I don't care who I'm in the ring with, man. I say it humbly, man. I'm gonna work my hardest. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna find a way to make this match more meaningful than any other match out there, no matter who I'm in the ring with. You know what I mean?
And then the last question coming in from him says, "Have you ever wrestled Bud Heavy one on one?"
No, I haven't wrestled Bud Heavy, man. He's a slippery man, man. He's slick. He's like one of the only people that ever got away from my gut wrenches. So like I owe him one.
You
So
owe
you
him
never
one,
know.
dude. He hit me in the balls at the last show, and I'm just the commentator, or I'm just the announcer.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So you never know. The future might be bright or doomed for him. You know what I mean? Never
Comment
know.
comment from a guy we both know very well, Zach Monstar, says, "Remind me to knee him in the face later
Ah,
on in life."
I'm trying to be nice here. I'm trying not to get back onto this wave of emotions.
Yo,
But you know,
Shay, let me explain to you how this works. This interview is your show. You say whatever the hell you want.
look,
Nobody's cutting
man.
your mic off tonight, bro.
Listen, man. At the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I want whenever I want, man. I'm gonna smile too because it's exciting. You know what I mean? Like Zach, I give Zach credit. You know what I mean? He's a beloved guy. A lot of people like him. You know what I mean? Yeah, and he gets a lot of opportunities for people, and for me to just come in and throw him around the way I did, I'd be mad at me too. I wouldn't like that very much. So, it is what it is. I respect the work you've done, but not respect what I'm about to do. You feel me?
No, absolutely, man. So I want to go. I want to backtrack a little bit. You said raised in a single parent household, mother or father.
Mother.
Okay, so you're living in New York with your mother, young man growing up, and you realize you got to make money fast. Bills are
Mm.
piling up. You got to do what you can to help your mom. What's that life like in New York growing up, wanting to be a pro wrestler, knowing that this is going to be an expensive thing to do, but you're living in a single parent household where at the time you don't have just stacks of money like you do now. You're not money
Well,
making Shea Guzman yet.
oh yeah, and it's crazy because like I'm being real, man. I'm self-made, self-paid. I'm an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very intelligent man. I understand the way the world works, and I know how to invest accordingly. Uh, but when I was a young kid, man, it was never like that. I mean, I was broke for a long time, maybe 28 years out of my long life so far. I mean, I was broke. So at the same time, you know, a lot of things are new to me. But I'll tell you this: I wouldn't be who I was if it wasn't for those humble beginnings. Because once you lose everything, literally, you're really free to do anything. When you got emotional bounds, emotional ties, and all these investments and all these things locking you down, and you're depending on a handout, you're depending on someone saying, "Hey, you're worth $7, $8, $10 an hour," like that's really gonna change you, especially when you're hungry now. It's not like, all right, we were hungry yesterday. No, we're hungry months ago, but we're like it's getting to the point now we're starving. You feel me? So, um, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like the wrestling business, the way I got involved with the wrestling business is on a larger scale. Uh, we did a lot of fights back in the day for bets and stuff in New York. A lot of prize fights. We thought boxing would be the wave, but unfortunately, these promoters were just working us like the rest of the workers in the world. You know what I mean? We started finding out the hard way. But the wrestling business, man. Like I said, like it's a different world, man. Especially in New York, man. Like no one's giving you opportunities. You got 8 million people in a little city. Imagine having 8 million people in a little city and then you want to get a job. What are you going to do to stand out? This ain't down south where it's all spread out and you get a chance, So,
Hey, man, that's where I'm at.
you know,
So growing up in New York, a real hard nosed city, a real if you want something, you got to go take it. Nobody's going to give you anything. They say if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. So did that kind of that environment you grew up in? How much did that attribute to your wrestling character, as far as being the heel, being the in your face, being the rough nosed guy that you are?
man, this is real life. Like this is who I am all the time. You know what I mean? Like I grew up around this environment where it was either you survive or you die. Like it sounds very dramatic, but it was kind of like if you put it in if I grew up in a different country, I'd be a completely different person, I believe. You know, I'm a product of my environment. So I really just don't care about things. I think that's what really attributes to me is the fact that like in New York, like everybody cares. You know, when everyone cares about how they look because they're trying to stand out, it's very hard to fit in. You know what I'm trying to say? Because
No,
everybody's
absolutely.
already, it's like a blend. So I just kind of said, screw it. I'm done. Like I'm gonna stop depending on someone to put me on. I'm gonna put myself on. I'm just gonna go everywhere. Figure that part out.
I got you, man. So how old were you when you decided to take the steps toward becoming a pro wrestler, finding a wrestling school? And what wrestling school was it?
I mean, I didn't. I went to. I went to a couple of spots when I started for like a few minutes. That's like a slang for like it was a little bit. You know what I mean? I
Just
was
long
on
enough
there
to get the T-shirt.
as long as I get a T-shirt and a couple pay-per-views for free. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Get to throw the pretzels in the bin after the shows with everybody. But like I went to NYWC for a little bit. You know what I mean? I learned a little bit over there. I can't lie. Um, I messed around with FTW for a little bit, but I didn't really get into it. You know what I mean? Like I like at NYWC, I got into it for a little bit, but I was really caught up with, I needed money now. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought like, okay, wrestling will pay me now. I learned a humble lesson that you're gonna have to learn. You know what I mean, when you get in this business, and it's like, okay, it's only gonna pay if you make them pay. You know what I mean? And you got to give them a reason to pay. It's not as easy as everyone thinks it is. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, I realized like in New York that wasn't gonna last too long. I got back into street fighting and back into boxing, and I was doing really well with that. I was thinking about going pro, but then my boy, like real quick, my boy, that's a name drop, but he's the man, Alex. My boy Alex Coughlin, bro. This guy, he got signed. He hit me up, you know what I'm saying? We signed up together to go to a New Japan camp. And this guy got signed. Like one of my, you know what I'm saying? Like when I
Mhm.
saw when I saw one of my closest friends get signed and see all the success he's doing now, it's like, all right, man, I gotta go. Like it's not New York. And clearly I can't get to Japan right now. So where I gotta go? You know what I mean? So that's when we came to Florida and came to the conclusion where like my wrestling career really began. Because I've only been doing this for 2 years. Like I dabbled
Two
in and out
years.
of it. Yeah, I only really been wrestling for 2 years.
Wow.
Like I was in it for like a couple of weeks when I was like 21. Then I got back at 25 for like 4 months. Then I left. Like people knew me because I was always around, but like at the end of the day, like I got in differently. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my boy signed up for the camp. He remembered, like how cool, we remember all this places. It was cool shit. Like how dope is that? Like I didn't even know the internet had applications for stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bet. So we signed up, and next thing you know, he gets signed. It drew a fire into my ass. I was like, yo, I'm done. So I moved down here. I found Dory Funk Junior School. So technically, that was like my first real introduction to pro wrestling, was the New Japan camp.
Hmm.
And then I went to, and that was like a week, over in, I believe it was like Carson, over in California. You know what I mean? And that was a real reality check on like how serious wrestling is. Like very serious, very strict. Like 300 squats right off the rip, first day, 300 squats. If I'm not mistaken, 150 dragon or lion push-ups.
God almighty.
It was ridiculous. It hurt so bad. You know what I mean? But
That's just a
like,
warm up.
yeah, that was just the warm up, and having Kazuri Shibata like put us on to so much stuff. Like it was just very, very humbling seeing a man from the other side of the world come out here and even for the brief moment teach us a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We had Okada come in. Like Okada came in and showed us how to do shoulder rolls and stuff, how to protect ourselves when we get thrown. Like it was just so surreal because me coming back into the business, I'm like, oh wow, like I knew they were big, I knew they were important, but I was new. Like, I came in at a time when they were like very relevant, so I was like, oh wow, this is really amazing. Like, I need to like continue. I need to run with this now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got
Absolutely.
to go down to Florida.
Yeah, I'm just sitting back taking it all in, man. Like I said in the beginning, and I wasn't just trying to blow smoke. You have an amazing story, man. And when I kind of got a little bit of it this past Saturday when we were kind of hanging out talking, but I really wanted to get you on here and just have you tell your story because it's such an awesome story to listen to. So you talk about Okada coming in and teaching you guys shoulder rolls. Um,
Yeah.
other than Okada, because obviously that's one of the biggest names in Japanese wrestling, if not all of wrestling. Um,
Mhm.
who are some of the who are some of the most influential people you've got to learn from?
I mean, I got to learn from those gentlemen. Dory, I owe a lot to Matt Seidel. Matt Seidel taught me a lot. Uh, Chris Silvio taught me a lot. The WWN taught me a lot. With their people there. Um, as far as like WWA format, AR Fox really broke down a lot of things that I had trouble understanding. You know what I mean? So I owe him a lot to helping me understand. I got people now assisting me like Vertigo and Pops.
Amazing guy.
Oh yeah, Vertigo's fantastic, man. For real, if you don't know him, Google him. Shout out to him,
I
man.
got Vertigo on the show tomorrow night at this time. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Me and Vertigo.
Yeah, he's great, man. He helps people like us get opportunities that for some odd reason we don't get. You know what I mean? And it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's just crazy. This whole wrestling thing is crazy. You know what I mean? Because like I started traveling. Like as soon as I came down here, I went to Dory School for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I did a seminar with Marty Jones, who's an amazing wrestler from overseas, in the UK region. And I did another seminar with Robbie Brookside, and that's why I found out about WWN because they were the one hosting it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I met Seidel. And then I got to travel with Evolve, which was a great thing. Like I got to travel with Evolve for like a year and a half. Like break down ring, set up ring, travel with talent. Like I learned all the questions I ever had. I just kept on asking everybody we had around us, and there were so many fantastic people that came from Evolve, as you all seen. So it was just like coming back into wrestling. I was very fortunate to be around all these big guys and like picking up all the questions I had answered. You know what I mean? Like, as you know, in this business, sometimes we don't get those answers that we've been looking for till late.
Absolutely. So, one question I want to have for you, and then we're going to get into Evolve and stuff like that. But you bring up being able to pick people's brain and ask them the questions that you've always wanted the answers to. I've had the privilege of interviewing quite a few wrestlers on here so far, and a lot of them say that information you get from the vets and the guys who've done it before, and being able to pick their brain is more valuable than the actual payday. Would you agree with that statement?
Oh, dude, I joke around with my friends, said I could teach you how to work, kid, but I can't show you how to get over.
Hmm.
And I'm not disrespecting any school. All my schools have taught me a lot, and they taught me. Fortunately, those people also taught me how to get over as well. And I'm still learning, but like there's a lot like on the road, man. You learn from the people on the road. It's hard. It's hard. It's a weird thing. Like you'll learn how to protect yourself in the ring, and you'll learn your moveset and techniques and things like that. But to really learn the art of professional wrestling, man, you got to be around professional wrestlers, man. Like you are who you hang out with. You hang out with 9 crackheads, you're the 10th crackhead. You know what I mean? So like, you got to hang out with the best wrestlers you could come up with. You know what I mean?
I always say that you are the product of or you are the sum of the five people that you hang around the most. The
Oh
people
yeah,
you choose to surround yourself with, that is who you become.
it's a fact. It's been, and the beautiful thing is, life is like a canvas, man. We only get one canvas, and let's just say we get 5 colors. You know, if we mess up our canvas, a lot of people don't realize that you could just take one color, paint the whole canvas over that solid color. Just it might be different, but guess what? You have a blank sheet, and you can use the other 4. You know what I'm saying? And like that's how life's got to be. No
Dude, I've
matter
never
what
heard
age
that
you
before.
get
That's
in.
awesome.
I appreciate you that. I'm just from freestyle from the top of my heart, man. You know what I mean? I'm a real one, I go here and there, man, but you know, fortunately, man, I get to do a lot of things in life. Being an entrepreneur, being not able to have to worry about anybody's hand. I take care of myself. I could go anywhere around the world. I mean, of this philosophy. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely, man. So, talk to us about how you got involved with Evolve Wrestling. How did that opportunity present itself?
Well, man, it happened after that seminar, man. When I went to Robbie Brookside and Marty Jones seminar, like I started finding out what pro wrestling was real quick, especially meeting these names. The Evolve thing, I got to move down here literally, man, I drove 20 hours from New York off a whim. Like I was like, I'm gonna be a pro wrestler. Fuck it. Uh, I
Put all
just
your eggs in the
drove.
basket.
Yeah, I lived my whole life there, and I know, I know how to take care of myself. You know what I mean? So, wherever I lay, I'll be good. You know what I mean? Wherever I lay, I get paid. You feel me? So
Absolutely.
yeah, so unfortunately, they like the way I work, and they gave me a reduced rate to work with them, and so I was like, oh, I'll take it. You know what I mean? And I started working, and working at the WWN school and taking all these seminars, and there was amazing people, like all these NXT people coming in for the seminars, and getting to pick these brains of all the upcoming guys who are now on Raw, and it was just it was so weird at first because I didn't know what was happening, you know, like I kind of knew, like, all right, I heard of Evolve, I remember Evolve a few years back and stuff, but then it hit when these like big names started coming in. You know what I mean? It's kind of
Mhm.
like, like not even to mark out, but at the same time, you're like, oh wow, I picked the right school. Like, if I ever thought I picked the right school, I was right. You know what I'm saying? Like, getting to meet people like Paul Heyman, getting to meet people on the NXT and the Raw roster and pick their brain. People from New Japan coming in and pick their brain. Was really very humbling. Like, I was like, oh, okay, like,
Now, was
nice.
that before or after WWE had bought out Evolve?
That was literally all right. So we're in 2021, man. I would say this was like 2019, 2018, 2019. I was traveling with Evolve. So literally like November 2018 or October 2018 to like right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still with the network and everything. You know, we used to do a lot of wrestling shows and things of that nature. So you can check us out there. But other than that, like, like it was very, very how should I say, very, very fortunate to even learn what I've learned in this business. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't like like I said, it's about being at the right place at the right time. I never broke who bro, I'm literally me. In the ring, out the ring. You know what I mean? I'm
No, I can
changed up.
see it, man.
It's cause I fought for real. Like I really did this, and like I said, don't get it twisted. Wrestling, we bust our ass, man. It's real life and that shit. Like we really get hurt. You know what I mean? Uh, but like I said, like coming from a prize fighter, and being able to, you know, um, train with a lot of people who are ranked, in for the heavyweight title right now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I used to train with these boxers and have my coach like Dwight Yard who trained people like it's like Hassan Rahman who beat Lennox Lewis and Danny Williams who beat Mike Tyson. Like I was trained from an elite boxing caliber, but I was just such a party. I was just such a party everywhere I went. Like I
Daniel
had to
Smith
have
says
fun. You know
Shay
what
is
I
the
mean?
top guy.
Oh, we appreciate the love, baby. I'm gonna
That's
keep
love
it a
from all
buck.
the way from the UK. Daniel's all the way from the UK watching.
Hey, what's up, mate? I'm fucking, much love, man. you know,
Another question from SWF official says, "Did you collect anything like figures, shirts, belts, or any wrestling memorabilia growing up?"
man, I really shouldn't be saying this, man, but I used to do a lot of wrestling, like in school. Like we had our own little federation in elementary school. Yeah, man, in the elementary school, and I used to tell everyone to suck it like crazy. And it was just a matter of how many times you could like who you could say suck it to, and like we used to be at recess and we used to have our own pay-per-view set in the
So
cafeteria
you
before
you went
recess.
from recess pro wrestling to real pro wrestling. The RPW never changed.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it makes sense because like yeah, like I was always a rowdy one. I was always fighting. So when I was younger, you don't get it twisted. Like I had all the gimmicks, baby. You know what I mean? I had the Mountain Dew and the pizza and every Royal Rumble, every pay per view, every Mania. I was studying. Like I'm gonna be on the show somehow. You know what I mean? So, oh hell yeah, I had all that. I had the toys, the belts. You know what I mean? Like I knew I was gonna. I just had to get ready because like I was like I couldn't wait. I couldn't just wait. I had to make sure I could carry it. You know what I mean? Like the
Absolutely.
ones you got behind you. Yeah,
Oh, I got one right here too, man.
you see that? There you go.
Dude, when I see this, I think of Eddie Guerrero every time.
Oh, he's the best. He's
Was,
the best.
was there ever one
Listen.
better?
What was that?
I said, was there anybody better than Eddie? I mean, you had Brock hold the title. You had, uh,
Oh no.
I mean, JBL, John Cena. Whenever I get put on the spot, I draw a blank, but there was
Yeah.
never better than Eddie Guerrero.
Nah, Eddie was official, man. Eddie was see, man, and this is the thing, man. Everyone talks about being one of the boys, one of the brothers, man. Nah, man. Like, what that means is like who's a real good person and who's just an idiot here in it for themselves. You know what I mean? And like people don't understand like a good worker from a bad from like it's like people don't realize like you know some people just come here and they don't know what they're doing. They don't realize like you know what I'm saying like you don't know the camaraderie. You just you don't understand like that. And unfortunately, it's like that. Unfortunately, it's very divided these days in the locker room. You know what I mean? And like you could feel the tension sometimes, and it's not even on a disrespectful manner. It's just everyone's trying to get to the top in a sense. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But you can feel it. You know, like it's one of those things. Like you know, when people like Eddie, he's one of the brothers. He's one of the good ones. He's, you know, people. You know, you could just those clicks. You know how they have the Bullet Club click. Like those guys were good for each other.
Yeah,
Those guys match their vibe. You know what I mean? Other guys, you know what I'm saying? So like DX and then the clicks and the Heart Foundations, like it was a vibe. And like you know, nowadays everything's very clicky and vibey. You know what I mean? Like I tend to be the guy on the Lone Creek going through everything. You know what I mean?
well, I could definitely see that. You like I said, we got to hang out a little bit. Me, you, and Jason were all hanging out before the show.
Oh
I
yeah.
I could see how your personality might rub people the wrong way, but at the same time, it's why you're here. You know where you
Oh
want to
yeah.
be, and there's only one way to get there, and you're going to do whatever you got to do to get there.
Oh yeah, man. I'm a freedom fighter. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have freedom, baby. I'm gonna do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want. You know, I'm not even trying to sound cool. Like I don't care. I'm not here for the money. I'm really not, man. I get money. I got money, man. You know, and I like. I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate, man. But it's hard work, baby. Like this, it don't come easy. You know, people realize this is a fight game. You know, if you get in that ring, we fighting.
Absolutely. So, let's talk about your role with Jason and Brothers in Arms. We had Jason on the show not too long ago, and he he has one of the most inspirational stories in pro wrestling. All of this he said on the podcast, so I'm not giving away any trade secrets. He spent 5 years in prison, came out, changed his life, became a pro wrestler. Now he's wrestling on MLW television all over Florida. He's wrestling for Gangrel. How did you meet Jason, and how did that relationship start?
Real recognize real. Like this is how I am in the ring. This is what I am out the ring. You know, pretty much what I'm wearing now. I'll wear it while I'm in the ring, and I'll wear it on my day off. You know what I mean? The only difference is I get dressed up like a prize fighter because I am a prize fighter. You know what I mean? I could have became a pro boxer and made mad money, but I just decided to make mad money doing something else. You know what I mean? So when I met Jason, it was the same mindset. You know, I met him at Alpha's, and I remember I went there humbly to set up a ring because no matter who I am, you know, I pay respect to people who were there before me. You know what I mean? And like that's something that these kids nowadays don't understand, but Jason understands, and that's what brought us together. And as funny as it sounds, when we're at Alphas, everyone's all suited up, and I look around and I have my bandana on, and there's a guy across the hall from me, and he has his bandana on, and I'm thinking about it like, oh wow, like there's somebody here who got the same mentality as me. You know what I'm saying? Like someone we wear this bandana like veterans. You know, you pay homage to the people in the United States Army. You pay people to your Marines and your Navy and your Air Force when they wear their hats. There's people like us who are retired as well. Here we are, you know what I mean? And real recognize real. So that's why we're here together, because we get it. We get this business. We get what has been missing. It needs us. It needs people like us to unite everyone during a cause. You got two different people who came from the same struggle together. Real brothers in arms. I know brothers in private school. You know what I mean? Some real stuff out here. You know what I mean? We trying to let the world know that, like, yo, together we could really make some moves. Let's remind people what's really happening out here. You know? So that's
No, I
that's why
love the
me and
pairing
Jason is
between
here.
you two, and I got to meet Jason a few months before I met. I got to meet Jason just a few months before I met you, and when I seen you two together, it just you knew that was gonna fit, and it was such a great pairing between you two, and I can't wait to continue to watch what you guys do all over Florida, all over America, wherever you guys decide to go next.
Oh yeah, we out here.
Um, and I just completely went blank on the next question I had for you.
Don't feel bad, man. That's the loud. That's the loud in there, baby.
Oh, that's that's what I was gonna ask. You brought up, everything you wear, the way you carry yourself, the attire you wear is all a tribute to where you came from. And as soon
Oh
as
yeah.
you came out of the curtain at Real Pro, I thought to myself, this dude's got some pretty cool attire. So all of that is a tribute to your prize fighting days and your boxing days.
Oh, absolutely. Um,
Y'all have got to check out Shay on YouTube. Check him out on Real Pro's page. Check him out on his social media. His ring attire is top notch.
I appreciate the love, man. My Instagram is really my most popping thing. I really don't. I'm like I said, I'm just getting new into this internet world, so I'm gonna start making a YouTube page actually popping and put up fights. This YouTube page, I literally just remembered I had and used it. So, but we're gonna, we'll plug it out later. Just follow me on XX Money Making Che on Instagram. You'll see everything. You know what I mean? I mean, this
Oh, this comment says this makes 2 weeks in a row that the Worms introduced me to a new wrestler, and that's the thing here on the War Room. Like
oh,
I've been very fortunate to interview guys like Eric Bischoff, Vampiro, and stuff like that. But if I told you, if I told you 5 years before you ever saw who CM Punk was, or 5 years before you saw who the Undertaker was, this dude's gonna be big, and you saw him here and you got to know about him, I mean, that's my job, and I'm telling you right now, Shay is going to be everywhere. He's already been in Evolve. He's already done things with New Japan. He's done everything all over America. This man is going to be big. Pay attention. This may be the first time you've seen him, but it's definitely not going to be the last time you see him.
oh hell no. Oh no, 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 no. We're here for the bag. You know what I mean? I'm not here for a handout. I'm not here for a check. You give me my time. You give me the microphone. I'll put asses in seats. I'll have people paying attention. Because we all have a lot of things to talk about. It's just not everybody gets to speak. We need people like us, you know?
I'm glad you bring that up because I was scrolling through your Instagram. I saw some of your promo work. Solid stuff, man. I really enjoyed it. You made me believe every word you said. Who were some of the promo artists that you looked up to or that you thought were some of the better promo artists of their time? Obviously, we know the Dusty Rhodes and stuff like that, but who stood out to you as far as promo artists?
Money making Che, Che Guzman.
God, you're such a mark for yourself.
No. No. Honestly, you're gonna laugh, man. Tupac. When I was a young kid, man, I used to freestyle a lot. I used to rap a lot. That was just part of the hood, man. And I was really good with it. I was really good. I used to do a lot of rap battles and stuff. Um, but that's just a part of me. So like when it comes to talking shit, I like to call it, or just cutting a promo, letting people know what time it is. It's nothing to me. I treat it as if straight up, it's like, this is what it is. You know what I mean? So people who inspire me, don't get twisted and pay homage to professional wrestlers, of course, like Dusty Rhodes, um, hearing people like The Rock, hearing people like Stone Cold, just not caring really too much, and knew how to put curses in the right places. It wasn't it wasn't like run, 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 like beating into your head, you know what I mean, with curses. Like a lot of people don't realize you can say certain things and get away with it nowadays if you articulate it the right way, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But like I said, at the end of the day, man, the money's in talking. That's where the money's at, baby. You know what I mean? We don't care how many shoulder tackles, how many headlocks. We don't care if you got a good headlock, baby. This is entertainment. You're not gonna, you know what I mean? I don't care if you could protect yourself, or that's cute. You know what I mean? I only get you so far. You know what I mean? Like at this world, in this time, we need to be entertained. We need a reason to tune in. Time is valuable. So if someone's not on TV or someone's not on a platform that's showing me how to get rich, like me, or is just gonna show people how to express themselves, or is gonna show people that there's a way, there's people like you that look just like you. You know what I mean? Like what you're doing. There's people out there that are just like you, bro, and they see you and they're like, you know what? Wow, like I could do this too. There's people that see me, all the Latinos out there, claro que lo sepa, ya tú sabes, nosotros estamos aquí. But anyway, like I'm saying, we out here. Like, and we don't get the opportunities, man. They're not giving us opportunities. So that's why I love professional wrestling. That's why I put my body on the line and I try to create moments for people to realize, like, wow, that you could do more. You know what I'm saying? That for a minute, I can inspire you to do something. You know what I mean? Whether it's wrestling, boxing, or owning your own business, or just going out there. You know what I mean?
Now you brought
Facts.
you brought that up a lot. Owning your own business, you're an entrepreneur, stuff like that. Aside from wrestling, what other businesses are you involved in?
Well, that's the thing. That's really the thing. I really express entrepreneurship. I express people being leaders. I'm tired of people looking for a handout. I'm tired of people crying and whining and complaining. I did fine during this pandemic. Some of us did, believe it or not. And like, don't get it twisted. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. A lot of sad things that happen. There's a lot of things we're going through. But honestly, man, I never once asked nobody for nothing. Everything I got is on my own. You know what I mean? I decide my paycheck. So I try to tell people, you know, find what you love. Figure something out. Get involved in what it is. If you're going to be a wrestler, put yourself out there. Get quality work. Get quality pictures. Get quality idea. Get a quality reason why people are going to waste their quality time on you. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it comes down to. You know what I'm saying? It's like a Gary Vaynerchuk vision. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what it is, you just gotta find it. And that it factor we can't teach. And if you find it, sell it. You know what I mean?
I got you, man. I got you. You know, I sat here and I was look and I mean this. I mean this in a. I mean this in the most professional way possible. But I was looking through your Instagram and stuff, and I was like, this guy needs his own beard oil company.
It would be fabulous. Shout out to them. Listen, there's a lot of curls in here. We can do something. You know what I mean? We can really do something. And that's the thing, you know what I mean? When it comes to the money, I don't care. I've donated. I've helped a lot of people. I've spoken to a lot of people. I've helped a lot of children. I helped a lot of people in times of need. You know what I mean? And I continue to do so. But people need to understand it's not about, like, I don't care about money. I don't care about none of that. What I care about is not comparing and judging. And in this world, all this comparing and judging is not giving opportunities to people like us. You feel me? You know what I mean? And that's the problem. Once we start realizing that this is a fight, and you can't compare and judge an ass whooping, because an ass whooping is an ass whooping. Period. So, that's what draws people to fights. That's what draws people, the unpredictability. You know what I mean? And that's what's missing. We need more of that. You know what I mean?
So we have a question from Daniel Smith. Says, would you ever wrestle in the UK?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's funny because I wanted to move out there, because I was really on that New Japan wave when I first got into my career, but the Evolve thing happened, so I was like, oh wow, I get to, like, just travel and start from the beginning and learn and get to, like, pick up the guys and set up the rings and whatever job they needed me to do. You got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I was very fortunate to be around that. But hell yeah, I thought about going to UK for sure. You know.
So I got one more question for you, and then I got a fun little game for us to play to end the show. But before we get to that, you say you've been wrestling for 2 years, or you've been in the business for about 2 years now. It goes way further back than that, but professionally 2 years.
Oh yeah, like actually wrestling and learning, not just standing around and hanging out.
Yeah.
Because
So
there's a lot of guys that do that. There's a lot of guys in business that hang out. And they like to tell everyone, oh, I'm a worker, but I've been doing it for forever, 10, 15 years, kid. Like, yeah? All right.
So you've had the opportunity to meet some great people, going to top of school, meeting Okada, stuff like that. If you could go back and give yourself any advice, the Shay today, go
Oh,
back
good.
2 years ago and give that Shay of 2 years ago any advice, what would that advice be?
Ooh, that advice. Oh, man. You know what, man? I would just tell myself to be more calm. Just be more calm. You know, like, I wouldn't listen to this music the way people listen. I wouldn't let the world uh brainwash me into believing I should be and act a certain way. You know what I mean? I'll be the first to say that once I realized I was tricked, that's when I realized I could not be tricked again. You feel me?
I
Like
got you.
I started realizing and open, and a lot of these kids out here that are stuck in the streets, you know, and they see a guy like me and they see a guy like Jason and they see a guy and the other brothers in arms, before us and after us. You know what I mean? It's a way of life. You know what I'm saying? Because they need to realize, like, you know, it's okay to be tricked. This world got me thinking it was okay to be crazy and wilding out, but when you really rehabilitate yourself and you really figure out, oh, okay, there's more to life, you get success stories like Jason. You get success stories like me. You know what I mean? And that's what really I would tell myself in the old me. I would tell myself, be careful. There's people out there trying to trick you. You know what I mean? Be more, you know.
Not everybody's as honest as they claim to be.
Oh, it's a sad world, man. But hey, that's what this wrestling business saved me. You know what I mean? The fight game saved me. Boxing saved me. Realizing you got to fight and earn what you came here for. It really saved me. You know what I mean? And that concrete jungle, that really held, that really got us held in. You know what I mean?
I got you, man. So I like to end this show the same way. It's the only reoccurring segment we have here on the War Room, and I like to call it the Insta Game. Basically, what I do is I take a close look at your Instagram, I grab a few pictures that I think are cool, I throw them up on the screen, and I kind of get the story behind the pictures. Are you down for that?
Yeah. I hope my connection doesn't get all foggy like it was, but if you can hear me, yeah.
Yeah, I got you. So just let me know if you could see the picture, and then I'll ask you the question. Can you see this photo?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so tell me about this photo. And all you're in here with a lot of really good guys and a lot of guys that we now see in WWE and NXT and stuff like that. What was it like being able to work with all these guys, and how hungry does it make you knowing that you all came from the same place and now where they are to where you can be?
Yeah, man. It's a blessing to be in that locker room in the first place. You know what I mean? The ECW venue. Um, but to have all those guys there and see some of them already be in WrestleMania and to see some of them already capture gold with top talent, um, the people in there alone, like Austin Theory and Aaron Fox and Leon Ruff and all these, I could keep going and going. There's too many people. There's so much talent in there, and the thing about it is, like, you won't, you never know who you're standing around. You never know who you're gonna end up messing with. And like I said, I went from literally sitting in my room to POW ending up on you know that was the Evolve show on WWE Network. I got to do security there. They let me do security there. I was one of the guys on the apron, right with the entrances. You know what I mean? And like, just to be able to go back into time and Google and go online and go to WWE Network and see me standing there, I was like, oh wow, like, all right, man. So when I get my chance to wrestle here, I'm gonna show them this. I'm like, yo, that was me, man. I was the guy in the shorts. Yeah, but it's amazing. It's
Absolutely. And
amazing.
we see those photos all the time of, somebody popping up like a guy that we both know, Chico Adams, being the medic and being the doctor and being the security. And the next thing
Oh, it's
you
a
know, he's
rib. It's
on the
such a great
show.
rib. It makes his life so great.
So another photo that I have for you that I really want to get your thoughts on. You kind of been hinting at it throughout the course of the show, but I think it's absolutely amazing, and it speaks for just how hard you work. You know, to only be in this business 2 years professionally, and you're being recognized by New Japan Pro Wrestling. I know the picture's really small, but Shay Guzman is in the photo. Shay, how did it feel to be recognized by one of the biggest wrestling companies in the world, and you know, the only company that really rivals WWE?
It was wild. It was wild, man. It was a nice plug. Helped get a lot of people to know who I was in this business, and I really appreciate that. And it just shows how something so little and insignificant to some can get you so much notoriety in a business. I came in with a few followers. Next thing you know, I got a bunch of followers off of that. So I do thank them for that. And it was really cool, seeing a lot of my friends like Zicky. I met like some real great friends there, like Zicky. I
Ricky's
met
awesome.
Zicky Dice. Us, I love him to death, man. Lord
I
Crew,
sent him
another
that
one of my
picture we
boys.
took. I sent him that picture we took at the Real Pro Show, and he just messaged back. He's like, "That's my dude."
Is the one, man. He's a good one. He's doing a fantastic job out there. You know what I
So
mean? So.
entertaining.
Oh yeah, we're out here. There's so many of us out here, and it's a beautiful time because, um, you know, there's not a lot of good left, and the good that's there is sticking out, and that's the good thing, that if you're good, it sticks out now, and because there's an abundance of trash. And fortunately, the rebuilding of professional wrestling is going to give a lot of opportunities. Now that AEW came in, they took everybody, and WWE took everybody. New Japan's taking everybody, and MLW's taking everybody, and NWA's taking everybody, and I keep going on.
You know, I'll,
So,
I'll always be extremely grateful to Zicky. He was one of the first pro wrestlers to give me a chance. He came on the show. He gave me his time, and we had a great conversation. Had a great show, and I'll always be grateful to Zicky for that. He's always been down to earth. And the thing I like about Zicky, and I see this with you as well, you both you recognize the grind, and you respect the grind, and you
oh
respect the
yeah,
people who are going out there trying to make it and not asking for that handout, who want to make it on their own.
oh yeah. I mean, you get the same amount of time every time when you first get in. And if you don't utilize that time, you know what I mean? You know what, you didn't do this right. You know what I mean? You're coming in this business, like I said before, you're going to waste that person's time, and time is money. Certain states, hourly wage is $7, $8. You know what I mean? There's people in New York who make $11 an hour, $12 an hour minimum wage, minimum. You know, they come down here, they're appalled. Vice versa. People who come up there, they think it's great, but at the end of the day, it's nothing. You know, out here, man, the way you make money, bro, is by getting it. You know what I mean? In this wrestling business, the only way you're gonna get paid is if you get it. You gotta get it. You gotta utilize these cameras. You gotta utilize. You gotta. Why are you gonna waste that man's time? You know how much a ticket costs and gas? You know what I mean? You're gonna waste that person's time? No, come on. You know what I mean? Like that's not gonna fly for so long, man. People need to really respect this business. That's the problem. This business. We're not in here. Everyone's coming in there for themselves, trying to look what I can do. I'm gonna show you what's gonna be done.
Absolutely, man. So I got one more photo for you, and I think you're really going to like this one, and I think all the viewers are going to like it too. So, tell me how a kid from New York, hustling, grinding, doing everything he's got to do, ends up riding the streets with Hulk Hogan.
Yo, the Hulkster. You can tell he's so happy to see me. Uh,
You guys look like
I gotta say,
you guys look
I
like two
got,
friends just catching up.
I gotta say, my arms look mighty big in that picture. I
Let's
want
take
to
another
say,
look.
look at that, bow. I mean, we're a big boy over here. It was a really humbling experience. Like me and Hogan getting to speak to him, getting to sit in the car with him and hang out with him for a second, you know. It was just surreal. It brought a full circle, you know. Not to plug, I feel like I plugged a lot of people, and I feel like no one's ever gonna plug me back, but I don't care because that's not what I'm in this business for. I'm gonna get mine, you know what I mean? So I remember watching Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3, my first pay-per-view, Scoop Slam Andre. I remember years later, this Halloween that just passed, I wrestled in that very ring that he scooped Sam Andre at the Sausage Castle, right? Not only did I get to wrestle there, I got to wrestle as Jason, which was hilarious. And it was just like the greatest time ever. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't know what the Sausage Castle is, Google it. It's fucking the new Hefner, you know, the new Playboy Mansion of Florida. But anyway, so to meet him and then get to tell him exactly what I said, it really made our connection, I feel like, a lot cooler. Like, yeah, man, like, you know that ring you scooped Sam Andre? I just wrestled in it, man. And like, yeah, this guy over here owns it. And it was like a real genuine connection because I got his attention. It wasn't kind of like everyone else's, like, hey, how you doing? I love you type connection. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like I said, man, you know, one day, man, I hope to do what he's done. Because that man has made him so he respected the business. Mm-hmm. He knew what he was doing. So I feel like it's only right I met him in my path. And it's only right, you know, that when it's my time to do as much as he did with my name, with my brand. Because no one else is going to do it. You know, back in the day, there wasn't a lot of rich people. There wasn't a lot of people with money. And that's why people got to get known, because people were putting money behind them, you know. Nowadays, you can get your money up and put and cash in on yourself and become the Hulk Hogan you are. You could be the next Rock, the next Austin, the next whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that brand, that's what I want to do. I want to get my own joints. I want to get my own restaurants, my own clubs, my own everything. You know what I mean? So, touche, hats off to him.
Well, when you do get your own clubs and your own restaurants, you got to send me an invite so I can be there at the grand opening, man.
Oh, you already know. You're already in there, man.
I appreciate it, man. Look, I've had such an amazing time sitting here talking to you and listening to your story. Before we get off here, man, let everybody know where they can find you, follow you. We got a couple people asking for your Instagram so they can follow you there. But let everybody know where they can follow you at, man.
Oh, yeah, man. You can follow me right now at XX Money Making Che on Instagram. You know, I'm on Twitter too, but I don't really use Twitter. Keep it a buck, which I'm working on it. I believe that's Money Making Che. But like I said, man, Instagram is really weak. It kept me. I'm gonna reboot this YouTube and all this and get all that situated. You heard? But we right there, Money Making Che, XX Money Making Che. Holla at your boy. We out here. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you having me on here. You heard?
Hey, I thank you for making the time for it. I thank you for making the time for it, man. Had an amazing time, guys. Make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Review Society on YouTube. It is our new YouTube channel. We are having 3 additional belt giveaways. All you have to do is subscribe to this YouTube channel, and you are automatically eligible to win all of the giveaways that we have. You can get a belt absolutely free, like this one, or any of the ones behind me. All you have to do is subscribe to Wrestling Review Society on YouTube, and you are automatically eligible. Thank you to thecoldestwater.com for their product. Thank you to A-Rock Designs for sponsoring the show. And make sure you check out storefrontier.com/Wrestling Review Society to score all of our amazing merch, like this hoodie. We gotta get Shay one of these hoodies. I feel like if Shay wears one of these hoodies, it's just gonna make money because he is money making Shay.
You already know what time it is, man.
Shay, if I can have one more second of your time after the live feed, I really appreciate it. Guys, this has been this episode of The War Room. We will be back next week with another live pro wrestling interview. Thank you guys for watching. Shay, thank you for being here. And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
We should just start it over.